Hello, everybody. Welcome to ICC's Game of the Week with your host, as always, Joel Benjamin. The Nutcracker Match of Generations in Moscow pitted a team of veteran grandmasters against a team of up-and-coming grandmasters in rapid and classical play. In our feature game, the ever-creative Alexander Morozevich is in his element against 20-year-old Ivan Bukavshin. With a sacrificial novelty, Moro challenged his young opponent to calculate through a minefield. The players managed to play accurately for quite a while despite the pressures of the rapid time control. It was a glimpse of the kind of tussle we could have expected to see in the future. Sadly, we will never know what might have been for Bukavshin. Soon after the tournament, he died suddenly, apparently a victim of a stroke. So this is a very talented player, Bukavshin, who had a very good year in 2015, got his rating up to 2650, and this, I think, was his last tournament. But it's a very interesting battle with Morozevich. Let's get to it. Morozevich plays e4. He plays both e4 and d4. He plays a lot of different things. And Bukavshin plays his Sicilian, Taimanov, which is standard for him. And now Morozevich, there are many choices in this position. Morozevich plays a somewhat quirky, interesting variation, Queen f3. He's a kind of a quirky player, so that makes sense. The queen goes on the long diagonal. Sometimes it can be directed against b5, but basically the queen is ready to slide over to h3, or more likely g3, and also preparing queenside castling. There are many options for black, but Bukavshin chooses to chase the queen and then to thrust forward his b-pawn with possibilities of pushing b4 and maybe taking off the e4 pawn. So this position has been played in a number of games. In 15 out of 16 previous games, White played f4, which is the move that Bukavshin surely expected. Then knight eg4, bishop g1, almost all the games, and b4. And then some of the games the knight goes to a4, some of the games the knight goes to b1. The e4 pawn is not hanging yet because the knight on g4 would be loose. So the knight on g4 generally retreats to h6. It's not really well placed. But then again, the knight coming from c3 probably not well placed. Bishop back on g1, blocking development. So it's a very complicated game. There is also one game where after knight g4, White played e5, and that was actually a game Ivan Bukavshin against Bukavshin. So Bukavshin had some experience with this before in St. Petersburg 2014, but that wasn't particularly good for White because then Black didn't have the problem of his knights getting jumbled, and here the move b4 is very effective as both the capture on f6 and the knight moving, allowing knight to come to d5, don't offer Black any problems. So Bukavshin would have expected f4, but Morozevich uncorks a novelty, bishop takes b5. I didn't find any examples of this move, but it's very interesting, and I don't know if this was prepared. It's actually quite an interesting move. It's the kind of thing that a lot of players might save for a different event or for not rapid chess, but leads to very interesting complications and a lot of forced moves, this being one of them. Bishop f4, threatening the knight, d6, and now the big idea,